Now the third way to do that is to type in the data using the do file editor. The previous one we saw was the data file editor. So the do file editor is next to the data file editor. So you can go ahead and hit this. Okay, it pops up a window. So before even typing it and trying to get a new data set in, we already saw that we have to clear up the old data set which is in the memory, because Stata doesn't like to work with two different data set into the same session. So we have to clear up the old one and start typing it for the new one using the do file editor. So the command goes this way, is that you tell Stata that okay, input, then you say that okay, input the name of the variables, id space, then gender space, age space, income space. Now we saw in the previous way we were inputting the degree categories, saying that some college, high school, master, bachelor, and a PhD. Those are kind of a string variables. So we have to specify that, specify in the do file that okay, this is the string variable and it starts with str, and we have to specify the length of the string variable. So I would be a little bit generous and say that okay, the maximum size of my particular category would be 20 characters in length. Hit space and enter the variable name degree. What it says is that okay, the variable degree can be of maximum 20 characters in length. Now I'll go back and say okay, id 1 space, the person was male 1, age 25 space, had made 36,000 and having some college. The same is true for 2 to 28, 25,000 and has on a high school degree. Number 3, 1 30-year-old earning $30,000 and has a bachelor degree. Fourth is a female, 35,000 and making $50,000 and has a master degree. Fifth, again a female, 32-year-old, 80,000 and has a PhD degree. Now at the end we have to specify that okay, you have to close it. So you can say end, put an end word and it will close that particular section. So again, ID corresponds to the first column for 1, gender 1, age the third column, fourth variable fourth column, and the fifth variable is fifth column, and everything is separated by space, and you hit end. So now highlight this entire thing, and that is in the right corner saying execute the selection. So you have to run this particular statement. Once you run it, now you can see in the output window that it has run it and end of do file, and there is no error. If there would be an error, it would pick up by red color and you cannot see all these variables. So again, to confirm whether we already have the data file, you can go back to your editor window and hit that, and you can see that okay, ID corresponds to ID, gender, age, income. Okay, so you have the data pulled in using the do file editor. Alright, and the other way to bring in the data is by importing the data file, and usually for this lecture I'm going to pull in the .csv file extension, because most of us use spreadsheets, and those spreadsheets we can save it as .csv file. So before going that, we have to clear up this, or clear up the memory of STATA. So now we don't have any variable and there's no data set into our memory. So let's go ahead and first make a .csv file. So you go to your ID 740 folder or the designated folder you have the Excel spreadsheet in. I already have the same form of data set as we saw when we were trying to bring in the .dta data set. Now I'm going to open up the spreadsheet. It has same form of information. I'm going to go on, hit this Office button, click Save As. Under the Save As option, you change the type the way you save it. I'm going to save it as CSV, comma delimited. And once you hit that, hit Save. And it's going to ask you that, it's going to support and, we're going to make the changes. You say OK. You say yes. Once you click, again it's going to ask you, do you want to save it? Yes. You can repeat that again. Okay, save it, replace it. Okay, now it closes. Now you can see that this was the initial data set we started with. Now we have the exactly same copy, but it has a different format. It says comma separated value file. Now again, let's go back to our STATA file and try to pull in using the import function. So for that, hit File, scroll down to Import, and hit the first one, which says ASC2 data created by spreadsheet. Once you hit that, a dialog box will open up, and you point out to the location where your file is, and you see there's nothing in it into my ID 740 folder. But you go down and select comma separated values. Once you hit that, it will pop up that, oh, you have a data file into your folder. And to confirm that, you can just expand your type function, and okay, to confirm that you double click it, and there are a couple of options to identify that what kind of data set it is. It's type limited, comma delimited, but we will say that okay, keep it automatic. Let STATA determine what kind of format it is. Once you've done that, just hit OK. It pulled up the variable ID, gender, age, income, and degree. Once again, you have to check it. If you want to check it that all the observations are pulled in, you hit the data editor and says yes, there are five observations, and this is the data set which has already been pulled in. Okay, now the most simpler thing we are going to do is like how to get the data out. So it's very simple, like you have to just save it. So go ahead and save it. Once you click that, it's going to ask you that okay, where you want to save it, like how we do in Windows. So let's say we rename it like data_1, because we already have a data file, same file. So hit that, save. So it says okay, it's saved into this particular folder with this name, and the extension is .dta. Now we already have that file, and we can export that into a different format. So let's say I want to export it into, again, comma separated value. So hit comma separated value. Okay, leave this empty if you want for all the variables you want to export. Sometimes you want to subset a main data set, and you can say okay, I want to pick this variable and make a different file for it. Then you can choose the different variable using this particular menu. I will leave everything empty. I'm going to point out the direction where I want to save it. Again, ID 740, and I'm going to say okay, output data set 1, and there are a couple of options. It is .raw. I'll choose .csv and save it and hit OK. So it says that okay, it has saved. There is no error or anything like that. Just to check that, and here it is. Thanks for listening, and we are going to have few more series